right now, we have, outside of the Army tournament coming up and all that, there was also the release of the Match Play Guide, meaning we get...
Which is kind of relevant, I guess, with the tournament.
Yeah, we get 18 new scenarios.
Ooh.
There's 24, right? We had 6. This is a new 18. I think most are the same as the previous edition.
Yes.
But today, what we're going to try and do is essentially compare and contrast the old scenarios from the old Match Play Guide with the new scenarios from the new one. There are some new ones.
Yeah,
some
I was going to say
new ones.
Yeah, to basically see if they've just gone, oh, let's add a couple of extra VP to that and that and that. Here it is again, or whether they've gone, hey, let's think about this and actually try something different.
Yeah, well, we haven't actually gone through these yet, so this is an initial reaction.
Yeah,
I had a skim through when we got the we got the PDF because it sold out immediately. And the new ones look kind of cool, but again, haven't read them all.
Yeah,
so let's have a look.
Okay. So
let me get up my PDF.
Yeah, so you have the new one.
Yes,
I have the old one. So I have paper version, and we'll see what happens.
It's exciting. I've suddenly gone a bit chesty, so I apologize if my voice starts going. Excuse me.
So we start off the old one with the recommended tournament style.
Yeah, I imagine
that's kind of all the same. Results stuff, I assume, is mainly the same.
One thing, just to quickly check, have a look at the points limit. Number of games and times.
Yes,
because when we looked at this briefly, we weren't sure if that was the same. So 500 points.
Yeah.
Number of games?
4 for 1 day. 7 for a 2 day.
Round time?
Hour and a half.
600 points?
4 for 1 day. 7 for a 2 day. Hour 45.
700 points?
3 for a 1 day. 4 for it's 4. 6 for a 2 day. 2 hours.
Okay, so it's the same.
And then 750 and 800 are both listed.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 6. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we just misremembered one of those. That's fine.
I think it's because we made up a 650.
That's true, yes.
Which wasn't in this.
Yes.
Or 550 as well.
Yeah.
I think we've done a couple of, ending in 50s rather than hundreds.
Did that one have common scenario rules as a section? After that?
Afterwards, I got scenario pull system.
Before the first scenario.
Pull system.
Bear with us, guys.
Nope.
Okay, so common scenario rules is a new thing then.
Okay.
They have essentially like a summary of common scenario rules.
Yeah.
And that's Maelstrom of Battle, Dark of Night, A Time of Heroes, Heirloom of Power, and Uncovering Artifacts.
Okay.
So rather than explaining like Maelstrom in every battle or whatever, they've just got it essentially as a special rule, kind of like how keywords, not keywords, but special rules works. If you've got Terror on a profile, it just says Terror, it doesn't tell you what it does.
Yeah,
they've now done that for scenarios.
Okay, that does make sense.
So, scenario 1 is Domination.
Yep, which, I'm assuming the first 6 are still...
Oh yeah, the first 6 are the first 6.
I assume they haven't changed the order, so I'm going to assume these are all the same. To the Death, Hold Ground, Lords of Battle, scenario 4?
No, Destroy Supplies.
Okay, so the order has changed. So scenario 4 here is Lords of Battle. Okay, so shall I go through and find the ones in your order? Would that make sense?
So the first new scenario for the new Match Play Guide is Capture and Control. I'm trying to think if we ever did this before. Is this a new one?
I honestly cannot remember. I know there was a couple that we never did, but Capture and Control, it was scenario 9.
Okay. So on this, starting positions, both players roll a d6. The player with the highest chooses one of the deployment zones. They then select a warband in their force and roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, all models in that warband must be deployed in their deployment zone and wholly within 12 of the center line of the board. On a 4 to 6, models can be deployed anywhere within their deployment zone and may not be deployed within 1 inch of an enemy model. Is this all the same thing? No?
Yep.
Yeah.
All looks the same.
VP 3 1 3 1.
So 2-1-1.
Oh, so what? That's a very low scoring game.
Well, it's for each objective. And there's
each
5.
objective marker. Sorry. Okay, so that is up to a total of 20. Okay.
So yeah, it would be. So it was 2 VP for each objective. There are 5, I believe. Yep. Then you got 1 for wounding the enemy leader or killing them, and 1 for breaking your enemy's force.
Okay, so that's exactly the same. Just there's more VP available on this one because it's 3 for each objective marker. Does your version have a special rule?
Yes, controlling.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's all the same.
Cool.
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough is next. Okay. There's going to be a lot of flicking back and forth.
Obviously, we don't want to just go through this book and read out the details of every scenario because this is a paid-for product with Games Workshop, and we're not just going to be here to leak it. The main point of this discussion is to see if there's any key differences and see what the new scenarios are.
Okay. Breakthrough was scenario 15.
Oh, wow.
It's moving up in the world.
It's 10 now. I'm guessing it's exactly the same. What's the special rule, or is there one?
No special rules on this.
Okay, so this one has a special rule of a time of heroes.
Okay.
Which, off the top of my head, is if a hero kills another hero, they gain a point of might. Or if you kill an enemy hero,
you regain a might.
Hero can regain a point of might, I think it is. So that's pretty cool. The score and victory points for this is very, very wordy.
Okay, there were 5 different VP scoring
There's
things.
4
before.
on this one, but as you can see,
the
one paragraph there is huge.
Okay, yeah.
So again, we're not going to go through and read that, but it looks like that's essentially kind of the same, plus a special rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assassination.
Okay.
I'm assuming they already kind of leaked the what's the word? The names of these scenarios, so people probably already know.
Oh no,
what the new ones are.
Assassination is new. Assassination is new.
Is it?
Yes.
Why does that seem like one that would definitely have been on there? There was never Assassination.
Unless it did a similar thing to another one. What is it?
I'm assuming it's going to be killing something. So the objectives are: once one enemy has been broken, the game might suddenly end. At the end of each turn, after this condition has been met, roll a d6 on a 1 or 2. The game ends. Wait, that's.
Oh wait, no, Assassination isn't there.
I was going to say. I feel like I definitely know.
Oh yeah, it is there. What?
It's just. Yeah, wasn't it just like using? Didn't you nominate a hero and then have to kill the enemy's nominated hero or something like that?
So the objectives used to be: once one force has been broken, the game might suddenly end.
That's just score VP. It's going to be scenario outline. So using your assassin, slay the target to achieve victory.
Oh yeah, that's all it says on this one.
Okay, so same thing. This one does have special rules, however. Dark of Night.
Okay.
And the target and the assassin. So it's just secretly note down your guy in there. So that's the same.
Okay.
I don't want this video to come across as really boring, guys. But it may, if we're just reading out stuff that's already been a thing for ages.
Well, no, but that's kind of what we're trying to get at is, have they really changed anything? Or is it just adding 1 or 2 keywords into stuff and that's that, really?
Which, to be honest, seems like the case. Contest of Champions is that one.
Yep, that was one.
Okay. Heirlooms of Ages Past.
Yep.
Sites of Power.
That's new.
Yes. And this is one that I actually did skim through before. Okay. So this one's quite cool. The scenario outline is players fight to control 4 objectives across the battlefield. It is a Maelstrom battle.
Okay.
And it's also got the Dark of Night special rule.
Okay.
However, there are different sites of power on the board. I believe there's 4 of them. And at the beginning of the priority phase of each turn, you roll a d6 and consult the table to determine what effects the site of power have on those around them until the end of turn. So you basically get buffs if you're near one of these sites of power.
Okay.
On a 1 or 2, each model, until the end of the turn, each model within 3 inches of an objective marker suffers a wound. Okay, so it's not just good things. Roll a d6. On a roll of a natural 6, the wound's ignored. This roll is taken immediately after the wound has been suffered, before fate rolls or any other things, and you cannot modify it with might. So, rolling a 1 or 2 near a site of power, you're going to lose some models. So there's pros and cons. A 3 or 4, models within 3 inches of the objective markers will pass any courage test they're required to take that turn.
Okay.
And on a 4, 5, or 6, until the end of the turn, models within 3 can re-roll any wound rolls of 1 when making strikes.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad. It's different.
It is different, but I assume that you do have to control the objective markers, so you have to have things around them.
Yeah.
Which makes it quite funny, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's trying to take control of a fire. Like you need to be there, but it could burn you.
It can keep you warm.
Yeah.
But you might die. Is essentially what this is doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. I think this could be fun. I think it could be quite a frustrating one. Because if you've got 2 objectives and I've got 2 objectives and you roll on yours and get re-rolls and I roll on mine and kill all my dudes.
Yeah.
It could be quite frustrating.
So did you say it was just take wounds and stuff, not take strength, something hits?
You roll a d6. Oh, yeah. No. So you only ignore the wound on a.
Okay,
natural
I think in a
6.
way that's fairer. So you can't just be like, if you were like, I don't know, hoarding wild men at D3, then if it's a strength something hit, you're going to be a lot worse off than if you went, oh, I'm just going to put a Balrog there, because then it's just going to be like 6s to kill anyway. And it's kind of just fair all round.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because armor or not, if you're getting burnt alive, you're getting burnt alive.
Yeah. Well, it's some kind of magical power.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
I like it. I think it's fun. The only downside is a lot of this can come down to a dice roll. You know?
It all does. It's a game of dice.
Yeah, but that takes away tactics in a way. Kind of. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I like it. Moving on. Scenario 15 is Command the Battlefield.
That was before.
Okay. It has Maelstrom of Battle and Worthless Land.
Yep, same special rules as before.
Yep.
By the look of it.
We've never actually played this battle in any tournament scenario, in any tournament or on the channel, but it's a really cool one. I like it. Maybe we'll do that soon.
What was this one then? What do you have to do?
So this one is essentially divided into quarters, and you've got to control quarters of the board.
Okay.
Anything within 12 inches of the center has no value.
Okay.
So it encourages you to
spread out.
Move around the corners, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Moving on, we have Retrieval.
Yep.
It's one of the relic gathering ones. We have Seize the Prizes.
Ooh. Wait. What? I don't know why they changed the order to these. Seize the Prize was one,
Was it just called Seize the Prize?
Yeah.
It's now called Seize the Prizes.
Ooh, let's have a look at that.
Interesting. So this has the special rule Uncovering Artifacts. But the scenario outline is recover the precious items and carry them through the enemy force to victory. So I'm guessing because they've upped the VP amounts, they've essentially just upped the amount of artifacts.
Yeah, there was only ever one artifact before.
Yeah, for this one, you score 2 victory points for each artifact.
Okay. It used to be 3 if you were carrying it, 5 if you're within your opponent's part, and 7 if you got off the board edge.
Okay,
so it feels like they've changed
that's quite different.
Yeah.
Was there just one objective on that, was there?
Yeah, it was just one central one. You had to get it off to your opponent's edge.
There's 3, no?
I think that's better.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes
definitely.
having just one thing is...
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get a Balrog picking it up or whatever. You just get something really durable.
Just guess it just yeets it. Done.
Yeah.
Or, an eagle picks it up and flies off the edge.
I definitely prefer that. All right, we have Treasure Horde.
Treasure is new.
It is a new one, yes. So the outline of this one is recover more of the ancient artifacts than your opponent.
There's quite a few artifacty ones.
There is. Again, it has the special rule Uncovering Artifacts, but I will look at the victory points for this.
Okay.
It ends at quartered. So you score 2 VP for each artifact that's in the possession of a friendly model, 1 VP if you break the army, 3 if you're not broken, the general one, and 1 VP if you have at least 1 model wholly within 12 inches of your opponent's board edge. If you have at least 3 models wholly within 12 inches, you score 2.
Okay.
So it's quite a simple one. There's a 12-inch central bubble in your deployment zone to deploy, which is quite different. And then there is 6 objectives.
Okay.
So you've got 6 hoards of treasure
to
try and get your hands on, which I quite like. That would be a fun one for dragons.
It could also be a fun one for dwarves.
Yeah. Greedy dwarves. Yeah. I like that one. There's a few scenarios now that have like, with the base 6 scenarios that we had, there's some good ones, but it was getting a little stale.
Yeah.
Like every week going, which one are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, to the death? Domination?
Yeah. And it was always worse for us because quite often you'd be like, if we do, say,
Recon
2 of them, or there's a couple you go, it's an obvious win for one just by picking that scenario. So quite often that rolled out half the scenario straight away, going, this is going to be really boring if we do that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, scenario 19 then is Storm the Camp. This is one that we played a few times on the previous
yes, I think we did.
Play guide, and I like this one.
Yeah.
This is fun. It's like corner deployment. So you have I'd have this corner, James would have the opposite corner, and you've essentially got to protect your own camp, but also storm theirs, which is always fun.
Yeah.
I like having 2 things to think about. I don't like it when it's just, okay, let's just kill my opponent, or I'll just that objective, hold ground, just take the middle. Yeah. I like it when it's like, I've got to think, like destroy the supplies.
Yeah.
Got to protect my own, and I've got to, It's just more fun. Divide and Conquer.
Yep, that existed.
This is Escort the Wounded.
Wait, that's the name of one.
Mm-hmm.
Escort. No, that is new.
It is new. So the scenario outline for this one is deliver your wounded ally to safety whilst preventing the enemy from doing the same.
Okay.
Similar sort of thing. Two things to think about.
Yeah.
What you're doing and what they're doing. Which I guess is always the case, but some are specific, VP. Hang on. Special rules. They've got the Sanctuary, which is the areas within 12 inches of the corner that are not in a player's deployment zone are considered to be that player's sanctuaries. Okay. These are the places where they are trying to get their wounded allies.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. So it's opposite. So it's like player A's, player B's.
Mm-hmm.
Wounded allies. The objective markers in each player's deployment zone represent wounded allies they are attempting to get to safety. They're treated as heavy objects. If during the end phase of any turn a friendly model is carrying a wounded ally and is wholly within a friendly sanctuary, the wounded ally is removed from the battlefield and has been rescued. Models may never carry their opponent's wounded allies under any circumstances. Just take your enemy's wounded allies to your base.
Just dragging them back by their feet. Nope, you're coming back.
And then VP is kind of as you'd expect, 2 points for each of your wounded allies. And for each wounded ally that's been rescued... Wait, what? 2 points for each of your wounded allies that is being carried by a friendly model in your opponent's board half.
Okay.
And then 4 if they've been actually rescued.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. And then, general, army broken, and banners.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, banners. It'd be interesting. Not something we'll do now because it'll be silence and counting. But of how many banners, how many of these have banner VPs in them? So see how, because obviously it's been quite a big thing at the moment with having banners and the chances of it. So
the next one does as well. So that's Clash by Moonlight is the next one.
Okay, that was one, I believe.
2 forces clash in the dark of night. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. In a bid to assert their dominance upon the other. It has the Dark of Night special rule.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a pretty kind of standard one. General, army break, banners, heroes as casualties, and people around the central objective.
Okay.
It's kind of a mix of hold ground and to the death.
Yeah. Okay, that's
then
quite
we've
cool.
got lead from the front.
That's new. Does it say on there if they're new?
No.
Oh, right.
I just
the way you're doing that then, I was just like,
I just don't know. I don't know that
you're just testing me.
No, you know when you read something like I've not heard that before. I know it's new. So this one is use your heroes to secure key areas of the battlefield. 3 central objectives. The game lasts until quarter in, and it's essentially kill enemy heroes. You score 2 for each objective marker that has both. Oh, no, it's not. It's basically domination. You score 2 victory points for each objective marker that has both friendly and enemy models within 3, but only if any of the friendly hero models of a higher heroic tier than any of the other enemy hero models. What? You score 4 VP for each objective marker that has a friendly hero model and no hero models within 3. 1 VP if the enemy army is broken, the general one, and banners. Cool. It also has the time of hero special rules, so yeah.
Okay.
Potential for heroes to get might back.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Last one then is Convergence.
New?
Reunite your forces and deliver the heirlooms to their place of power. Pretty cool. So it ends after being broken in a roll of 1 or 2. VP for each heirloom that is being held by a friendly model. For each heirloom that's being held by a friendly model within 6 of the center of the battlefield scores 3. 2 VP for having more models within 6 of the center of the battlefield than your opponent. 1 for broken, and then 1 for general wounding. So they're all kind of standard, and a lot of these I feel do kind of repeat what you're trying to do with a different spin on it.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, what is the total number again?
24.
24. Getting 24 different scenarios for this game, I think, is hard to make them completely
I do
unique. And in a way, it's kind of nice that they do overlap a bit in the sense of you can build lists for tournaments and go, okay, I've got a good chance with a good chunk of these.
Yeah.
Not going, oh, I know I could win 2 out of the 24 easily, and the other will be, oh, God, who knows? I think I like the way they've done it so far. Hopefully, there's not a case of 2 or 3 are just the go-tos for everyone all the time, and that there is a good spread.
I think that more of these are appealing in this edition than the last one. I know a lot of them are the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just more competitive experience at this point, but I look at these now and go, that would be cool. That would be cool. Whereas before, I'd be like, oh, that one's intimidating.
Yeah.
I used to hate Maelstrom battles.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean, I still don't feel like we've had the best experience with them.
Oh, not at all. Our doubles tournament was horrific. The most recent Shadow and Flame was horrific. The Balrog didn't arrive for 2 turns. So
yeah, so like just on experience, they're not the funnest, but they are fun at the same. But it's what makes them fun.
Yeah,
it's a weird one.
Yeah. Overall, how do you feel?
I feel good. I'm just glad it's out. Like, obviously, we'd wish it would have come out for the last tournament so we could have used it. But
also, wish we could have got a copy of it physically.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah, I don't know how we managed to miss both the books.
I know
physically.
Despite the amount of time we put into this game.
I know.
We run regular sellout tournaments. We put full-time hours into a YouTube channel that promotes this game, and GW didn't send us either.
Yeah.
I mean, we wanted to buy them.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
what we just tried to buy them normally, and it's all a bit stupid, really. But the only thing moving on to the doubles event side of this book.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've never done these before, but the one thing I have heard is I think is it 4 of the 6 that they've put in involve the 2 people on the same team starting separate, but basically the game means that they'll stay separate. It doesn't really bring them together. So you're kind of playing a doubles event to then just basically do one-on-one matches against someone on 2 halves, and it's just whoever did better or worse. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
I'm not sure. Like, say we haven't just gone through them now, but I've seen a couple of people saying that it's a bit of a shame that there's not more like work as a team type thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what doubles should be.
Yeah.
I think, especially a big part of winning this game in general, scenario dependent, of course, is not spreading your army too thin. And on doubles, you're essentially the same army.
Yeah.
So forcing you to spread your army thin is a shame.
Yeah.
But it does also, I don't know, can make it a bit clearer. If you're running the same army, it gets a bit like, was that your guy? Was that my guy?
Yeah.
So I guess if you're starting separate, at least I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll see. We're not going to cover the double stuff right now because a lot less people play it, I suppose, and the most common version is single. So we'll stick with that for now. But overall, it's kind of as expected, I suppose.
Yeah, it looks like they've changed bits. They've at least put some thought into it before re-releasing it rather than just going, just times everything by 2 with the VP and we're good. So yeah, I'm glad they've given it some attention. But yeah, this is one that's definitely going to take a few months of all these scenarios being played all over the place to get a good idea on if some people go, I'd never do this one because it just doesn't. It's either 20-0 or nothing.
I mean, this is way too late in the day to say. I think we touched upon this upon the release of the new edition. I can't really remember. But I still think that 40k scores much better.
Yeah.
I think that maybe in the future for the next edition, GW need to look at turn scoring for MESBG.
Yes.
I don't like it when halfway through a game, it's like, oh, well, I can't break through that line. I can't score. This is going to be a 20-0.
Yeah.
You know, I like it when it's turn 2 and you're 12-0 down. And you're like, okay, I need a good turn. Let's get this back. Let's really focus on this. And maybe I can't do the primary, but the secondary I can do.
Yeah.
Like the scoring for 40k is just so much better than Middle Earth. And in general, MESBG plays nicer than 40k. It's more forgiving. It's more balanced. It's overall just a better game.
Yeah.
But scoring is something that they really lack on. And there's too many things that are just the same. Almost every game has, you score this if you break your army. You score this if you kill the general.
Yeah.
You score this if they've got no banners. It's too much of the same. I want lots of different missions that have an objective that are unique to that scenario.
Yeah.
And then some kind of secondary system.
Yeah.
Where if you can't score your main thing, for example, banners. If I don't have an army that can take a banner, I want something else that I can focus on.
Yeah.
You know, I want options. And I think that's important. That and the back and forth, turn to turn. It's just more appealing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Would you agree?
I definitely agree with that. And I don't see them ever doing that, if I'm perfectly honest.
No,
I think it'd be too much of a change to the game. And I think there are definitely people who wouldn't like it. Just because they're like, well, this isn't 40k.
Yeah, but
they would just see that as they're trying to turn it into 40k rather than going, maybe there is a different way. And I don't know if they'd ever have 2 types of scoring systems in the same game.
No. there's an option to release it as a, like a mission deck, an alternative tournament system. And we've talked about doing it, and we did do it.
Yeah.
Just so we essentially took the Pariah Nexus mission deck, and we looked at how that works and converted it to Middle Earth. And it was quite a lot of work. Had it all outlined and sorted and balanced. And then all we wanted to do was turn those into nice like cards that you could print off. And we were just going to put it out on Patreon.
Yeah.
And anyone could download it and use it. But it's the designing the cards that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Maybe for Patreon, we could give out a couple of example ones or something of how it works. And basically, if you guys want to basically test it as well.
Yeah.
And see, before we like try and, get cards and stuff like that. Let's put it out to you guys. If you want to play a game, if you got time, and try it with those rules and give some feedback.
Yeah.
We could try it like that.
Yeah, and we could also try it on the channel as a little experiment.
Yeah, we won't do that anyway, yeah.
We've talked about that for years.
Yeah.
Basically playing Middle Earth like it's 40k.
Yeah.
And then playing 40k like it's Middle Earth.
Yeah.
They're fun experiments. We'll get to them eventually.